In this video, we're going to take a look at the new requirements that Google Maps has for people who want to use Google Maps on their Joomla sites. And we're going to see why it's really not as big a deal as everybody is making it out to be. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. And thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work live stream number 26 here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel, the Encore performance you're watching here. Or if you're watching this on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Basic Joomla. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe, ring the bell, and like the video so that others can find it. By ringing the bell, you get notifications of new live streams as soon as they're released. And if you're watching on Twitch, follow the channel and you'll get notifications as well. Plus, you'll be able to chat when the live streams are on. So let's head on over and talk about this topic that's a real heavy or big topic for a lot of people, but it's not that big a deal anyways. Brought to you by so basically around in November, Google required people to have an API to use Google Maps, and in order to get an API you had to put in your payment information. And there's been a whole lot of flurry of discussion and concern about this. And so I thought today that I would take the time to clear up the issue because it's really not as bad as all that. You can actually still use Google Maps without an API. You don't need to put in your payment information. There are some cases where you need to, and that's what we're going to look at today in today's video. So without further ado, let's turn our attention over to the computer and we'll go from there. Okay, so switch this over here, make this go. That doesn't seem to be working either. Let's do it that way. Wow, it's working so well for the YouTube channel. All right, remember, head on over to basicjoomla.com/giveaways and enter this month's giveaway. Today I'll focus on this 3-month basic membership in Joom Dev's Template Club. Let's go over and enter and win some of those other Joomla prizes there. Good luck to you as you enter. Now, let's take a look at what's happening. First of all, how you can use Google Maps without any API. Nothing has changed. I'm going to open up a new tab here and I'm going to search for something. Let's search for the CN Tower in Toronto. All right, there's the CN Tower. It comes up in Google search. Here is CN Tower and a map of the CN Tower, where it is. Let's left click on that and that will take us to this map page for the CN Tower here in Toronto. Now, what you can do is you can zoom in and out to whatever degree of zoom that you want. And down here, you also have, let me just close some of these windows here. There we go. Down here, you also have the option to go to a satellite view. So if we click on that, we can see a picture of the CN Tower from space. Let's zoom in just a little bit. And there it is right there, that pointy thing. And this actually has a cool kind of 3D view happening. But let's say that's where we want the map to be. All right. In fact, we can click this button here. No, we don't want to click that. I thought that might center things. Next, what we want to do is click Share. And you'll have the option to send a link, or you can embed a map. And it says this map is built for you. We will close it. There's the CN Tower right in the middle where we want the information from its Google Places or business file there. And here is the iframe up here. We just have to copy HTML and we're away. Now watch. I'm going to log into the back end of the Basic Joomla site here. And we will go to Administrator. And we will log in. And once we're logged in, I'm going to go to an article. And I've already been playing around with this. You'll see at the top here, Test Google Map. We'll go in there. Now, I do not have basicjoomla.com registered with Google Maps in any way whatsoever. All right. And so I'm going to go to the code view of this article. And here's the iframe from my test getting ready for this. I'm going to Control V and paste there the iframe code that we just copied. And then we can go back to the view. I have it centered. And I'm going to save. Now, just a quick pro note here. Remember, if you're ever playing around with a page like this on a site, you don't want this to be spidered, go to the Publishing tab, go to Robots, and set it to no index, no follow. And all of the good search engines will not include this page. Let's preview this page now. And here we have it. On the Google, on this Joomla site that is not registered for any API with Google, here is the map. It's functional, and it gives the option to go to the view the larger map. And if you view the larger map, it takes the visitor right to the place where they want to go, the information. They have the options down here to do street view, and you can't see that behind the it's down here, yeah, down here behind this orange screen, but you have the full map there. Basically, you can do this for any of your clients. I think that this covers much of the, let me change this here. I think that this covers much of the requirements that our clients have or that you have for your Joomla site, in that they want a map showing where their business, their organization, their park, or whatever it is that the website is about. They want a location displayed, and you do not need to register for a Google API code in order to use Google Maps this way. So a lot of people that, this idea that with the changes that Google has made, oh, you've got to find a map alternative, then it's not necessary. Now, I do want to just say, as I'm not knocking any of the other map services or any Joomla extensions that are using that help you connect to the other map servers. I'm not knocking any of that. I'm just mostly talking about this today because it always concerns me when I see in any community tons of hype about stuff that really isn't hype, because then we end up spending way more time and energy on things than we need to. So for instance, as I've shown in this case, if you need to put a map on a website showing a location of something, a business or whatever, just put it on. Just use this embed code. If you don't want to put it on an article, there's lots of ways to customize things, to put an HTML frame, an iframe on somewhere. And we could probably look at that down the road someday as well. So yeah, don't panic. You can still use Google Maps. I will say this too, though, and this is getting a little bit more into the philosophy of things, because I am going to move on and show you the API screen, the payment screen, and where you can set a budget. I'll show you that on my account. There are services out there that will track analytics, for instance, and you can pay for them, or they're free. And for me personally, Google is crazy what they connect on analytics. It's everything that you ever want. It is free, and they have pro versions as well, but it is free, and it's fast. And so for me, as far as time goes and managing things goes, I really like to just like to get things done and go from there. Let me just check the chat here. And so I don't use other analytics stuff. I have analytics that are built right into the server for my company and the hosting accounts that I resell. I maybe once in a blue moon look at those, because everything that I need, the big chunks of stuff that I'm interested in, is there in Google Analytics. So I'm not going to pay money to use something else. And I'm not going to use something else that's free, because frankly, I think a lot of those services, and if you prove me wrong, post a comment or something like that if you want. But a lot of the services that offer things for free that are trying to compete with Google Analytics or other Google products or other products of big companies out there, as they grow in success, they start to lag in speed and resources. That's just my personal opinion. Again, as someone who's very busy and I'm making my living from this and trying to make my living from this, I don't have time to get so lost in controversy and philosophy of how things are done. Unless someone's paying me to do that, I just want things to work. And so again, here's an example. Here's an example where you can simply put a map on a YouTube, that's on your website. Now let's head back over to the computer screen here, and let me open up a few more links for you here. Okay, I'm just going to open up this screen here. Let's take a look at first of all this one right here. If you need an API from Google, it's to do something special with Google Maps, and I'll show you an example of that on my friend's site. Let's go to ramproperties.com/administrator. For those of you who know my friend Rick August from smartdrivetest.com, this is one of his sites, a little project that he had going with a friend of his, and they were, and I still have not updated this. I'm waiting on a couple things. Components, and let's go down to OS property. And now we can go to configuration, and we will scroll down here, and you'll see here is a map. Now, here's where there's a Google key that is entered in. Now, I don't have to worry about showing you this Google key because I have it restricted so that it will only display on Rick's site. When we go to the front of this web page here, here's a house that they had for sale. It has since sold. If I click more details, and then we scroll way down to the bottom, there's a map. Now notice it says this page can't load Google Maps correctly. So in playing around with this last night, I somehow broke this. But normally, with the API working, this map displays in a really cool overlay. And in fact, I'm kind of surprised that it's not, because it's working here on his page here. So I wonder if I need to clean the cache and refresh here. Control Shift and R. Let's refresh that page because it should be working. There we go. It almost works. Oh man. So I have to look into what I broke on this. But basically, this map shows up in a lovely blue street view, not street view, but map view. And instead of the gray of the ground, it's blue, and it really fits in with the template for this particular extension. Now, to change those colors and to show the fancy stuff that they've got, what you need to do is use the API. And now, nicely in this extension, they say you can register new Google API key through this link. So I'll just click on there. It's going to take us to a new page. And this is where you will see the information on that as it loads in. You can just go, you can create a project and follow your steps down through that. Now, it turned out that I needed extra projects on my free account here, so I'm not going to go through those steps today. But it's as easy as just going through and creating a project. So we could go RAM properties, and I could go create a project. So sorry, select create a project, continue, and see I can't do this because I've allotted my project quota. So I already emailed Google and said that I needed to expand that, and so we'll see when that happens. But you will see that in some extensions you need this Google key in order to display the maps in the format that you want. Now, a link to show you some of those different uses would be this. Let me just copy this link on my other screen here. And this just shows how the maps, JavaScript, API usage, and billing. And I'm going to paste all of these links. In fact, let me just paste this link right here now as well. I'm going to paste all these links in the description of this video. You can read about how the pay-as-you-go pricing model works here, and the different costs. Now, don't pay too much attention to these costs because we're going to see that Google gives a credit to everybody at the beginning for each month, some free usage as well. But here, if you're developing an app or extension and you want to take information from Google Maps but change it somehow, color or what's displayed or whatever, you're going to need an API to access some of these different versions. And you can read all of the details there. If you don't, if this is all gobbledygook to you, then you probably don't need to worry about it. Unless, of course, like if you're using this an extension like OS property and they say you need an API to show the map, then you do want to just go and sign up and create a general one. Now, let's talk a little bit more about pricing. If you have to get an API, you should know that every month you get $200 free credit from Google towards Google Maps API use. $200, and you might think, well, how far will that go? Well, we can take a look down here. Pay only for what you use. I have another link here, the pricing sheet, and I'll put that there. Let me put that in chat as well now. So check this out. Your $200 monthly credit covers unlimited loads of mobile native static maps. All right, a Google Map object in light mode in a Maps SDK for Android mobile application. Okay, so unlimited loads. Mobile native dynamic maps. We can keep going down here. Embed advanced. Static, you get up to 14,000 loads. Static maps up to 100,000 loads. Dynamic maps up to 28,000 loads. Static street view up to 28,000 panels. And then, anyways, you can check this information out. And what you will see is that you get incredible basic use of Google Maps API without ever having to pay. So I gave this example. In the Joomla Facebook group the other day. Static maps, a request to the Map Static API. Let's say I had an extension on my website, on my basicjoomla.com website, and I had registered for an API, and basically what it did, it loaded a static map. And I had 100,000 people come to my website in order to see the location of my home office. That's all free. I don't have to pay Google anything for that. The next, as you will see on that level, the next 100,000 visits cost $2. $2. And my point was this, is that if I have 100,000 people looking for my home office, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make more than $2. So if I have another 100,000 in, and we're all talking in a 1 month period, 200,000 views of my map, you ought to make at least $2 from that. If you're not, you're doing something wrong. And so, just what I want to stress is that the whole requirement for Google Maps to use an API, there's that $200 free use before. The Google has changed their API so that large companies that are making thousands and hundreds of thousands of calls to Google Maps are paying for some of that load. Plus, Google's a company. They want to make money. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, for instance, you take, I don't know if the Pokemon game uses Google Maps for location or anything like that, but if they are, just think of the millions of hits onto the Google Maps that is costing. And so Google basically said, yeah, if you're going to do that, you need to pay for that. But for us little people, and I think there's a lot of little people, even some of us little people who think we're big people. I mean, to get 100,000 calls for a map through something that you've created or that you're through a website that you're developing or your own website, man, if you're getting traffic like that, you should be making enough money to be able to pay the $2 it's going to cost you if you go over that. So I just really want to clarify too. So a lot of, everybody's saying, oh, Google has requires an API. You have to put in your payment information. It's horrible. What else can we go to now? If you want to use something else, that's great. But don't let your life get all in a fluster over something that's not really that big a deal. Now, let's suppose something accidental happened and one of your clients did explode and they went and used, let's see, oh my goodness. This is the actually $2 is the price per thousand. So $2 for 100,000. If you the second 100,000 would be $200, not $2. Sorry, I still think you can make $200 off the 100,000 loads. The next 100,000 to 500,000 are $1.60 a thousand. Let's suppose that you had a client that suddenly exploded and you didn't know, and they're using the API. They used up their free 100,000 loads, and then they went and used 100,000 other loads, and which would cost $200. You can actually set a budget in the account so that you never spend more money than you want to. And I have that here to show you. All right, let me just click this link here. Let's go to billing. I think I just changed screens there. Yeah, my remote is working. Okay, so here we are in my Google console.developers.google.com. Here's my billing account information, and I'm just going to click on that. And you will see, because I joined this for free, I got $300 or credit, and I think it was 300 US, so I have 395 credit anyways here. But now take a look at this. Budgets and alerts. Now to get to this page too, I've already entered in my credit card information and my billing information in this account. Here is my base budget. This is your budget tracks expenses within the Google Cloud Platform project or billing account. And this is where I have my Maps API. Look, my base budget for the month is $1. So basically what I have things set up for here is that even if a client, and I'll talk about putting in payment information in a second, even if a client's site exploded, if they're set up properly, you can set it so that they won't spend any money. I put in a specified amount for this as $1. I could have put 0, but I wondered what putting 0 in would do, playing around with the levels of activity that, you know, if it's like, oh, you're spending 0. I didn't like it being right on that edge, so I put $1. The most I can spend this month on Google API stuff and developer stuff is $1. And look at this, I get an email as soon as I spent 50 cents, set up a budget alert. So the whole budget for a month is $1. So here's my point about this. Yes, there's some things that you need a Google API to use. You get that $200 free use every month, which will cover the first 100,000 calls of some things, or 14,000 calls of another, but just really huge numbers. And even if you were to go over, you don't have to go over. Like, you don't have to pay for it. You could just have the screen come up and say developer use or whatever the messages they put on if you've gone over your API usage. That's free. And then so you set a budget. You just can't accidentally spend that money. Now this kind of speaks to something else. Stay on that screen, and that is the hesitation to put payment information in for Google. I was talking to a client yesterday about this issue, and I said, you know, this is not really a big, huge issue, and was talking about much what I was doing now. I said, you know, just put in your payment information. They said, oh, I don't want to put my payment information in online. No, I don't want to. So I thought, well, I have my payment information online in a lot of things when I'm buying things, but also just stored there for use of things. If you saw in the extension in a video a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, we were looking at setting up a CDN for our Joomla sites, and the company that I was using is Amazon Web Services. So they bill me every month. I have my payment information in there. It's just sitting there, and I for that service. So the CDN goes out. There's a charge for that, for the bandwidth and transfer. I get billed every month. So it's a similar case here with Google. Just put your payment information in. And I know there's a lot of people that are nervous about that, and yet I think it's a little bit disconnected, because they don't want to have their payment information on Google paying for something that set up for something that they'll never even have to pay for, as we can see, but they'll leave their payment information registered on their Amazon account for ordering things. They want to go order a DVD. They click. They already have the payment information there, and they make their payment. They have their credit card information stored there. So this issue of having to put things on, put your payment information in, I don't think is a big one. Having said that, it may be very awkward to talk to one of your clients and say, oh yes, for this feature to work on your website, I need your credit card information to put on the website, into Google, so we can use the API. And here it's all set up, and you can explain all this to them, and there's still going to be that root concern or anxiety about putting their payment information in, or maybe even giving you their payment information. So to that, I think here's a great solution. Why not offer as a service to your clients that you will operate the API on your payment information? You'll set it up on your account, all right? So you're not going to give them your payment information, but you'll set that all up to work on their account, and you will monitor it for $5 a month. $5 a month as a bonus added service. So you're going to manage, you're going to give access to the Google API, or you're going to set up the Google API for their maps, and you will handle payment of any overrides, and they can just be free of that. I think a lot of businesses will go for that. I think a lot of people that are nervous about putting their own information on don't care if you put your payment information on. And $5 a month is a small fee to offer to them, and it's not going to cost you anything. In fact, at the very most, it could cost you $1 under my current setup that we have here with a budget of $1. Because if something did blow up and take off, Google's going to tell me when it reaches 50 cents spend that something's going on. And then at that point, you could contact your client and say, hey, congratulations, your site is blowing up. Oh, yes, sirree, we're getting tons of traffic. What a great site you built us, and we're making tons of money. Great. Well, I just need to let you know you've used up all the map stuff, so we're going to have to increase that limit. At that point, I think the person probably be very happy, and especially when they find out how cheap it is. So that's just some of the thoughts that I have about the Google Maps API issue that not everybody, but a lot of people are making. There's another phone call on my phone. I have to decline those things because it's on the remote for OBS. And I mean decline them in the sense I can't just let them ring and ring there. Yeah, there are other systems out there. Maybe they have some cool features. Maybe they have some ways of doing things that are a little bit easier to figure out than Google Maps. I don't know. But for most people that are looking to put a map on their website, or for most people that are using an extension that does something through the Google API, the uses are the levels are so high before you pay that it's not anything to worry about. Anyway, so that's really what I wanted to just talk about today. Don't be afraid to put your payment information in there. If you've got some projects and you don't want to put your payment information in there, $5 a month, I'll set it up for you and get things running for you. Otherwise, feel free, just like the thumbnail says, take a deep breath. It's okay to use Google Maps without the API. There's plenty that you can still use. And also, if you need to use the API, you've got a lot of room before you actually have to start to pay money, and you can always block that off. So I think at that point, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go over to see if anyone's here in chat, or if anybody is viewing. Doesn't seem to be happening right now. But to take it to a call, see if anyone wants to talk on Zoom. But if so, in the meantime, for those of you that are leaving, thank you for your support of this channel, whether you're watching on Twitch or watching on an Encore Performance on the YouTube channel. Appreciate it very much. Follow on Twitch, like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications on YouTube, and then we will we'll keep this information going, and that will help others to find it as well. So until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. All right, and for those of you that are still here, which I'm not sure who that is. Let's just see here. Oh, there. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Chuck. Yeah, I just saw your. It's funny because on the one on OBS it doesn't say that. It says nobody's watching, but obviously you are there. If anybody wants the Zoom call, let me just get the link here. I will pull this off the screen here. There we go. Copy URL. That's okay, Chayton. Wasabi. Yeah, well, good to know that you guys are there. There's a Zoom call if you want to talk. Chayton, I still need to touch base with you on a project. A week later, I still am only halfway through getting everything together to give to you. But maybe I will do that right after. Yeah, so does anybody have any news to share or anything that's happening? We had a really great chat and talk time on Monday at Maintenance Monday, and covered a bunch of things there. Oh, Wasabi, yeah, what's up? I remember that, Chuck. That I'm getting that reference now too. Also, as you know, I've been struggling with. I recreated the OBS screen setup for YouTube. Something's still not working properly, and I had it solved, I thought, on Twitch. So I'm going to just redo this whole setup again and fix the sound, because it started out with no volume again, which is a bummer. Anyways, fortunately, I can edit that up before I put it up on YouTube. Anyways, yeah, we had some really good chats. So if you didn't watch Monday's Maintenance Monday live stream, head on over there and give that a listen. There's a lot of cool information that came about in that. Let me just find my chat screen here. You know, I know this is probably not something that's going to go away, because I have not yet figured out how to address the whole Joomla community. I don't have 100,000 subscribers and they're all hanging on my every word. I just think, you know, it's interesting, and it's interesting. Oh, there's someone who is there.
Hello.
Who's that?
It's Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. How are you doing,
How's it
man?
going?
Let me get my earpiece in here just in case there's an echo. There we go. So it's so easy in any community for things to get really excited about a little issue that becomes a distraction, and we end up giving way more time to it. So Chuck, what are you working on these days?
Well, finished the theater site.
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to fine tune it. Still not being found in the search engines yet. So.
Okay. Did you register sitemap?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the images one is got errors I've got to fix, and one of the other ones I have to get fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. No end to stuff like that.
No doubt.
Here's something that I can probably. I wonder if I can just change. Let's try this if I get chat on the right hand side here. Oh yeah, I've got something happening there. I learned last week on Monday that if I go out of these scenes to try to change them, it gets my voice disappears and I disappear. So I'm not going to do that today. So I can do this though. This is another way around the chat not showing up. I can put it right on the screen. There we go. Yeah, the delay on because Chuck and I are talking on Zoom, so the delay is sometimes like 30 seconds on before it gets to Twitch. So you have to listen to one or the other, and then when you end up talking to someone on Twitch and then you show something on the screen, they have to wait for it to show up. So That's a little time warp there. So after the theater site, what's your next project, or what else are you working on, Chuck?
Just maintaining the cat
All
shelter
right.
site.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember you've shared that with us too. Excellent.
Yeah. I just pretty much do nonprofits at this point.
Okay. Are you retired? Do you have another job?
No other job.
Okay.
Still on disability.
Okay. That was from explosives, right?
Say again?
You're on disability from. Did you used to work with explosives?
Oh, no, 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 no. No, I was in the restaurant industry for
Okay.
30 years.
I'm trying to keep my story straight. I think I was thinking of someone else, obviously. So, forget who that was.
Yeah,
kind
no,
of-
I'm just trying to get back into the workforce.
Okay. Good. Any particular, like, were you running a restaurant or were you supplying restaurants or?
No, I wish. Unfortunately, restaurants are out of the question. Um, I ended up having major back surgery. Had stenosis of 5 discs, so
Hmm.
pretty messed up,
Yeah, that's
and
pretty.
drop foot and all that good stuff. And so being in the kitchen was a hazard. So
Okay.
I
So
do
you
stuff
were
at home.
were you cooking or?
I did everything.
Okay.
I worked mostly fine dining. Worked on the line, catered, ran a kitchen, owned a restaurant. Just I've been around.
How did So how did you end up doing stuff with Joomla? What's your Joomla story?
Well, I was building a site for a social group I was involved in, and one of the guys had been introduced into Mambo, and I was getting frustrated using front page, as I'm sure a lot of people did back then.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he kind of taught me the ropes and started with 1.5 and been with it since.
Cool.
Yeah, love it. Wouldn't
Yeah.
I hate WordPress?
One of my best friends that I know that I'll have in life was another fellow here. He was planting a church, a Salvation Army church, and he was doing the web page for it. And this like goes back, it's made almost 20 years. And so I'd been talking about web pages or something like that just in a meeting with all the other pastors. And he said to me after, he says, can you look at something? Can I show you something? I said, sure. So he opens up his laptop and he says, look, see this web page here? He says, I can't get this to stay centered. And he was using Front Page, Microsoft Front Page, to do his website. And I don't know if this was Mambo or just when Joomla had just come out, like had forked off of Mambo. But I said to him, I said, you know what? We should come over to my place and let me show you something really great. You're gonna love it for making web pages, and that struck up a really great friendship with him. And working on Joomla and hanging out together. So that's cool that you were on Front Page. That was pretty good though when Front Page first came out, to have the templates and be able to make things.
Yeah, it was just too much coding for me at that point.
Yeah. And even then, that was to get away from a lot of the other coding of just doing stuff in Notepad and typing things out.
Exactly.
Cool.
Now, Joomla has been good. It's just, as of recent, just having an issue with one developer just not responding to tickets.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Something I gotta. Let me ask you this: I've got some Java that I gotta load to the head of the template, but the template won't save any new parameters.
What template are you using?
Joomla Ecstasy.
And which company is that?
Joomla Ecstasy.
Oh, okay. Is there
separate another way to save code to the head besides just through the template?
Is there another way to save code to the head just through the template.
without the template.
Yeah, so I don't know Joomla Ecstasy, but they've got a thing in the template where you can add stuff to the head then, right?
Right.
Yeah. But it won't add anything else.
No, even if I go to change some padding or whatnot, won't save it.
I wonder if that field is just full.
No, what they were saying was the PHP INI was probably set at incorrect values. Probably need to increase it. And I've changed them. I can't tell you how many different ways, and still nothing. So.
Well, one thing, and I mean, this is one of those stupid things that might work, and who knows why or shouldn't work. But see, I don't know. You could use re-replacer and put just a little bit of code in there, and then re-replace it with all of the code that you want. But why would that make a difference if they think it's PHP any? You know what I'm talking about, re-replacer?
Yeah, no, I tried trying to find the testing site that I was using. That's what was showing up in the search engines. So I put all the requests in for them to drop those URLs. Now I lost my point.
Yeah. No, about using re-replacer.
Yeah, and so I was trying to find the URLs through re-replacer, and I couldn't find anything within the actual site. So that's when I went and did the Google drop the Google URLs. So
yeah, does it show? Does it show? Do those URLs show on the site right now?
No.
In the code or anything? No. Okay.
So, yeah, just again, it's just one of those frustrations when the developer doesn't get back to you. And it's been a week.
And it has to be in the head.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Add head of Joomla site. Wonder if there's another extension that will do that. I mean, I know how to do it in some other template format from other template companies, but that one obviously should work as well.
Right.
Well, let's take a look here and see what...
I'm Sarah Watts at Pixpro Labs. In this video, I would like to show you how easy it is to add and manage your script with our script management extension for Joomla that we call PixTracker. PixTracker is a solution that makes it possible for you to add scripts globally to all your web pages or just a few selected pages. In this video, I would like to show you how to add scripts to only selected web pages on your Joomla website.
All right, let's see what they do here. I wonder if that's a free extension. New home, Joomla stack. Oh, that's right, Joomla Shack bought them. So now we have to go. What's it called? PixTracker. That is a paid download. Custom code and content. Okay, let's see. I hear it ticking in the background. It sounds like a dog's tail wagging.
No, it's actually the dryer.
Oh, okay.
Working while I'm working.
Is paid. Codes. Scripts integration. This is for putting it in content. Let's see. Easy cuss. Oh, here's a free one. Easy script. Plugin allows inserting material into the head section of your Joomla website. So it might be possible that that this might work. Let me find the chat thing to plug this in. Maybe something else that's just not the template that. And putting it in with this extension, it might work.
Okay.
CSS links, JavaScript URLs are properly placed. What's it got? 22 reviews. Yeah. Yeah, and at least if you can try it with, if you use this plugin to put some code in, and you still have the same problem, then maybe it's it is the code in the PHP ini. The other yeah, so you could try putting some code in with just some extra code in here just to make sure it doesn't break what the template is doing, or if it still all shows up nicely. It might give you just another way out for troubleshooting.
Sure. Yep. Appreciate that.
The other thing too is that you could try your site out on another server to see if it is the PHP ini.
Yeah, I spoke to the hosting company, and they didn't seem that it was. Seemed to think that it was a server per se. They think it was a template.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go that route, I could always set you up with a free account just to test it on my server. You could just transfer the site and see if it works.
Yeah, because it was working on the test site. Once I moved it, it stopped working.
Okay, what was the test site on? Were you on a local computer or?
No. I did it on the actual cat site in the separate.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah. So.
I don't know why moving that to its own route would change the template. So.
No, and did you move it with Akiba?
No.
Yeah,
I did upload.
Okay, because if you move it with Akiba and Kickstart, that there might be something in there. Did you change the routes, the paths and config?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So. But, typically that's where I end up finding my solutions when everything else fails. I just start trying stupid stuff that shouldn't make a difference.
Gotcha.
I think like, oh, okay, I'll try it with Akiba backup, and then all of a sudden it's working. It's like, oh, I don't even need to know why. I'm just moving on. I'm so over this. So.
I definitely can relate to that. I think I put in development of the theater site, I overloaded it with modules and plugins.
Yeah.
cleaned it up prior to going live, but couldn't believe it was like almost 30 megabytes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of stuff. And that includes images in that?
Some images, but
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to see what what extensions work better or more seamlessly. So.
Yeah, and then have you uninstalled the ones that don't work, or are they still hanging on for now?
Oh no, they're gone.
Oh, okay.
No, I like the image manager that you showcased.
Oh, yeah, for moving things around.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Rick Span's R2H.
Excuse me. Yep.
Ah.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll be hearing from them.
You'll be what?
Hearing from Joomla Ecstasy. They're
Yeah.
actually closing Joomla Ecstasy and opening a new website. Webno or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, they're changing.
Yeah, because
okay.
they made some bad practices and overextended themselves with life members.
Oh, okay.
So, where am I? Oh, that's not it. Okay.
Here's another extension. I'm just looking at the different things here. Head tag. That, but I'm sure it does the same thing, but it's free. So I would think that if you have the same problem after trying that one, there's no sense keep trying others. But
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll give those a shot and see what happens.
yeah,
Well, I appreciate it.
yeah, no, that's cool. If that works, let me know.
Will do.
Yeah, I wonder because those there might you would think that there might be some kind of limit to how much you can store in those fields. I know I have seen once on one template system that they actually did say that it was limited to a certain number of lines.
I think there's only 4 lines of code in there now.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's not that then.
Yeah, I will give this easy script a definite change.
Yeah, good. All right. Chuck, can you remind me again, where are you?
I'm in Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown, Ohio. So is it, you got snow there?
Oh, yeah. We got dumped on this morning.
Okay.
Not a whole lot, but 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
On top of the other stuff.
No, actually, it was clear. It was the week before we got a foot.
Okay.
Over a couple days. But we're in a nice area in Youngstown where we miss the storms to the north and the storms that go to the south. So we're in
okay.
an alleyway that we don't get dumped on like other communities.
So you just get cold?
Oh, yeah. Definitely cold. Now, I do wish there was a Joomla group around. Used to be involved with the one in Cleveland. There used to be one, but people stopped coming.
Yeah.
Got an amazing developer up there in Cleveland who was on the jug for a while, but egos got in the way, so he stopped doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same in any organization or any group.
It happens.
Yeah, and people get upset and leave a group and they just give up. They go to something new thinking it's going to be better. I mean, I guess there's extreme examples of everything. I mean,
Sure.
but there's also a general level as well.
Yeah, gotcha. So did you get dumped on in Vancouver area?
Yeah.
When Seattle did?
Yeah, so I'm on Vancouver Island.
Right. So you're inland.
In Victoria, so that's it's an hour and a half ferry ride from Vancouver, but Yeah, we got the most snow in February that we've gotten in decades and decades.
Huh.
But even that's like maybe I think some 2 feet. Not which I grew up in Ontario, so that's not I we were up island visiting my son and his wife and two of our grandkids, and we have a mountain pass to go over. It's a low pass, but there's elevation to it, so the weather gets dicey and trying to keep the roads clear. But I've got good tires on my car, so we just headed out, and we made it up to the top and had to wait. The highway was closed for a while, but there's other people that were just driving with their four-way flashers on because they're just so unused to the snow. And it's not that their car was a hazard. I think it was their flashing showing that they were a hazard.
Gotcha.
But it's mostly melted now, so.
Yeah. I used to live further north about 20 years ago, and that was a major snow belt. It was about 8 miles from the most snowed city in all of Ohio, so Chardon. So when they got a foot, we got 10 inches. So.
Yeah. When I first moved here, we got record snow. We got something like 6 feet of snow in a 24-hour period, which basically paralyzed everything for days. In fact, when we finally I had given away all my snow shovels. We moved out here in November '96, so I gave my snow shovels all away in a very smart alecky way when I left Ontario, saying I wouldn't need them. And then so here we were. We didn't have any shovels. We were using a dustpan to shovel, and I think we had a garden shovel, but so it took us 2 days to dig out our driveway, and that's really only let's see, maybe only like 60 feet.
Yeah, well, if you have that much snow.
Yeah. Well, and then once we got out, it was just like everyone had cabin fever, and we live on a major road, so it was plowed one lane down the middle. But once so I went out for a drive, there was nowhere to park. There literally was nowhere to park. I went to go check on the condition of the roof of the church, and there was a place where a plow to turn around had gone into the snowbank and just pushed a bit back. So it was a little dent in the snowbank. So I tucked my van in there, and then had to go through like the 6 feet of snow across the parking lot to get to try to climb up the door and that. But it's like, and everybody, of course, there's no sidewalks or anything. It's just like an apocalypse. All these zombies walking along in the road, wanting to go somewhere, nowhere to go. So, anyways, that was quite the experience. That was.
Yeah, I've never seen that much snow.
Yeah, it was.
And I'd rather keep it that way. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, hey, keep me posted on that.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, if that works out, that'd be a good trick to have in the toolbox next time we run into it. So.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think I'm gonna grab some breakfast. It's only noon here anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a little later here.
Yeah. What are you?
3.
3? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 3 hours. You must be very close to the edge of the time zone then.
Not quite. We got a couple more hours.
Oh, do you? A couple of hours, like driving?
I'm sorry?
Like, are you close to where the time zone changes?
No, I'm like right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 10 miles from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah, I always picture that. So you're underneath. Like, is it straight down from Detroit?
No, it would be. Well, let's put it this way: we're an hour southeast of Cleveland, and an hour southwest or southeast of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's farther east than I would have pictured.
Right.
Back to school on my American geography.
Well, good.
Alrighty. Well, have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you do the same.
And just in case anybody else is listening to this on the replay, listening to the Tim and Chuck show, everybody, thanks for your support of this channel. Enjoy Joomla sites. And God bless.